Can everybody hear me okay now? Let me know if you can hear me now. I appreciate your patience there. It looks like I had a little bit of audio issues. I think I was actually fixing that last time I just went through and I had something else. Okay, so let me know. Can you hear me now? Is there actual volume? If you can hear me, go ahead and type a yes into the chat because I think I fixed it. All right, thank you. I actually just had a podcast interview before this. I changed some of the settings, and as a result of that, it created all kinds of issues. So thanks to you being here, you helped fix the problem and help me avoid 30 minutes of talking about stuff you couldn't hear. So let me go through this in summary real quick now that you can hear me. Look, if you're trying to apply for a loan, trying to apply for a credit card, trying to apply for a credit or credit line, and you have anxiety, it's usually because of these things, right? You don't know if you're going to get approved. You don't know if you can afford the rates and terms. You don't know if you're going to be able to get the loan you need, the lender to use, the loan program to qualify for, or if you're even going to get the money that you need at all. And all of this creates this kind of uncertainty where maybe you feel you're underqualified or you're not exactly sure where to go or how to get the money you need. And there are a lot of things that just cause issues to get you denied that create uncertainty. And what I was saying when I kicked this off is that this is what fundamentally creates the problem to begin with, meaning that if you go in prepared, I found that you have a lot of peace of mind in any situation, whether you're applying for a loan or negotiating a really big deal. But when you're underprepared, that's what creates substantial problems because there's all these uncertainties you don't know about. We're going to fix this today. We're going to fix these uncertainties and give you some certainty on the exact path to get around this anxiety so you know that you're applying for money that you're actually really able to secure and get for your business. So if you're just coming in, make sure you tell me where you're coming in from. Say hello. Tell me the industry that you're in. I always like to give everybody a shout out. I know a lot of you are warning me about volume, and I appreciate that as well. But tell me where you're coming in from. I always love to be able to give you a shout out on the actual stream. So make sure you say hello. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about these things today. We're going to talk about preparing yourself before you apply. I'm going to pull back the curtain, tell you what lenders are really looking at, tell you what to do pre-application to get yourself ready to apply. We're going to talk about what you're going to do with the funds. Your plan of how you're going to use the funds determines the kind of loan and the kind of lender you're going to use. So we need to know that. We're going to talk about how to figure that out. We're talking about the timing of application. A lot of people said lenders won't give you money when you need it most. Well, that's because you've mistimed when you should be applying. We're going to talk about how to get your timing spot on so you can actually get approval. So for example, we call this the Brinks truck rolling in here at Credit Suite. What I mean by that is that there are lenders that just get fresh funding and they want to approve everything they touch. And then there's lenders that are really near at the end of their round of funding that they have to lend and they're very particular. So there's a lot to be said. And you've heard this before when you go to get a car, right? So you always get a car at the end of the month because the dealer is trying to push units out the door to be able to make sure that they meet their quota for the month. They make their month better. It's very true. Like they want to have a better month, which is why they're going to do better deals. It's the same thing in lending. Having your timing right goes a long way to getting you approved. You got to be able to choose the right lender, the right loan program, so you just don't waste your time. I see so many people apply for the wrong loan program. They get denied. They give up. They say, I can't get money. And it's like, whoa, you applied for completely the wrong loan. If you would have applied for this loan, you would have got more money than you're even trying to get. So it just comes down to find the right lender, right program. We're going to decode that for you today too. And we're talking about how to negotiate the rates and terms. This is a negotiation. What you're given doesn't mean it's what you have to take, especially in a lot of spaces where there's a lot of lenders in a particular segment of lending. So you have choices here. You're easily able to come in and be able to negotiate and get better rates and terms. We're going to talk about how to do that as well. From Polly's coming in from Toronto, Canada. Thank you very much for coming in and saying hello. And we've also got Global Majority here. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in. Chris Brown from Corpus Christi is coming in. Information technology for 14 years and trying to get into logistics in a few months. We're going to help make that happen as well. And I think we've got the video, audio now. Somebody else chime in about not having audio, but we fixed that issue. So let's talk about step number one. You got to be prepared before you apply. I talk about this all the time, and I talk about it all the time because it's the most important aspect of getting any kind of loan. It's called fundability. You got to build a strong fundable foundation. You got to understand what lenders or credit issuers are looking at, and you got to make sure that they have the perception that your business is legitimate, that you have a big professional business, a professional practice that they want to lend money to. So making sure that, and I'll give you a simple example, the simple example. Yesterday, I had one of, if not my favorite funding program in 2022, I just discovered yesterday. Had a guy on my podcast, and that episode's not live yet, but in talking to him, I was like, wow, this is a phenomenal opportunity for e-commerce, even new businesses in e-commerce, to get the money they need to buy the inventory they need to sell online. One of the best options I've ever found for that. And one of the things he said is, he said, look, we do not lend to sole proprietors. If you are a sole proprietor, they won't touch you. They will not give you money. But if you're an LLC or a corporation, they'll give you money all day long. So this is exactly why I talk about fundability, because every time I talk to lenders, every time we discover a new loan program, what we find and what we discover is that this is why the vast majority of people get denied. It's not your credit score. It's not your income. It's not your revenue. It's not how long you've been in business. Don't get me wrong. All of that stuff is important. But when we look at the biggest reason that loans are denied, it's because of the really basic stuff you can't control. It's lenders like the one I talked to yesterday that said, we won't lend to sole proprietors. No matter how solid your business is, if you're a sole prop, you're not getting money there. And that's why we talk about fundability. Every lender has this, we won't touch this, we won't touch that, we won't touch this. And almost all of this and that they won't touch comes down to this one thing of fundability. So make sure you set up the right entity for your business, LLC, corporation, for example. Make sure you have a business address for your business that's separate from your home address, and it's not a PO box or a UPS address or iPostal type address. Make sure you get a toll-free number for your business, even if it's a voice over IP like Ring Central or any of those sources. You just need to have a separate phone number for the business. You need to have a website set up for the business. The business needs a professional email address. You can't use Gmail type email addresses. You need to have a business license. If you can get one, get a business license. Have a merchant account set up for your business as well. Anything that makes your business look credible, you want to do, because it's a night and day difference between somebody that doesn't have this and somebody that does. Somebody that's at a sole proprietorship, working from home, using a mobile phone as their business phone number, that doesn't have a website, that's using a Gmail address and no license, that is not somebody that is going to be taken seriously when you go to get money. But for very little money and very little effort, you could take that exact same business and convert it to a business that's highly lendable. Now, all of a sudden, we get an LLC or we get an S corporation. Same cost in most states to set up both. Now we actually have a separate address for our business. I can go to Regis, Alliance, or DaVinci to get virtual offices, and I can get one for $65 in a lot of places. So $65, now I've got a legitimate address that makes it look like I'm in this building here, this high-rise building downtown in Tampa, Florida. Then I got a separate phone number for my business that when it's looked at by the lender's computers, it looks like it's a real business phone number. And you got a website that says what you do and a professional email address and even a license to show that you're operating in your business. These things give the perception to lenders that you have a real, legitimate, credible, professional business. And this is the kind of business that lenders want to lend to. And if you overcome this one hurdle, this one obstacle, it goes a long way to helping you get the money that you need. Speaking of getting the money that you need, what is your plan for the actual money that you're actually going to use? How much financing do you want? How much do you really need? So many times to this question, I say, how much money are you looking for? And the answer is as much as I can get. Well, aren't we all? But if you're looking at revolving credit like credit lines or credit cards, that might make sense. But if you're looking for a loan, you don't want to be paying payments and interest on money you're not going to use. So how much money do you really want to get? And how much do you need? What's the minimum that you need? How much would you like? And what's the minimum that you need? These are questions you really want to know going in. Look, I'd like to get 100 grand, but I can make it work for 50. And that's exactly, and I just went through this on my end on a project I'm working on. I'm like, look, I need 100 grand to get this thing done, but I could use 50 now and 50 later, right? And so I'm fine with that. When I went in to get the 100, I'm like, I can't get the 100. Well, then I can get 50 now and 50 later, and that will actually satisfy my need. What I want is 100. What I need is 50. And then I'll need another 53 to 6 months down the road. But if I can use the 50 now, then that helps me get through the next 6 months and do what I need to do to then be able to get another 50 in 6 months. So that's a simple example of how much do you want and how much do you need as well. And Global Majority says, thank you, Ty. I'm putting all these together as we speak. Awesome. I'm glad that you're going through that. And Angela, Angels Don't Fall. I love that name. Joshua Tree. Palm Springs, SoCal, California state license going on there. I'm not sure. SoCal is in the house. Kay Ann Hayes, thanks for coming in and saying hello. Tell me where you're coming in from. Tell me your business. Tell me your business name. And just know I will share that and mention that online. And usually thousands and thousands see the playback of this. So it's kind of like a free plug for your business just by telling me the industry that you're in and even your business name. Also, how are you going to use the funds? What are you going to use the money for? And I'll tell you why this is so important is that in a lot of cases, you're trying to get a loan or a credit line to be able to get money to do things that you don't really even need to do. Let me see if I turn this light off. It's even better. It might be better. It might be worse. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Is this better? Is this better or is lighted on better? You tell me. Do you like the light on, the light off? You get to choose how I do live streams moving forward. It's like choose your own adventure, right? So how are you going to use the funds? And what I mean by that is that let's say I need $50,000 to launch my business. Well, then I want to break down what I need that 50 grand for. Because if I say, well, I need 5,000 for computers and 5,000 for office supplies and 5,000 for desks and furniture, well, I don't need a loan for 50. What I need to get is a business credit card at Staples, Office Depot, Sam's Club, HP, Apple, Dell, which is way easier to get than a business loan. And now, a large portion of the money that I thought I needed in a loan, I can use simple, easy to get business credit cards for. And then if I do get a loan for 50, it frees up that money to use on other things like payroll and marketing that I can't use a Staples credit card for. So it's always a good idea to figure out how you're going to use what you're going to use the funds for, because in a lot of cases, you'll realize getting one loan or one credit line for that isn't the best call. Getting credit cards that pay for all that stuff that you can't get that you can use credit cards for. And then you have a little bit of money you need a loan or a credit line for. And the reason I say that and the way it's so interesting, and we got general contractor in the house here with Angels Don't Fall, and KN says 3G Business Consulting LLC. I love that. So the reason I say that is because, again, don't use a loan or a credit line to buy things credit cards could easily get. Because credit cards you can easily get without a personal guarantee and credit check in a lot of cases, and loans or credit lines are harder to get. So get the easy to qualify for credit cards, use that to fund all the stuff on your list you can. Then you just have a little bit of stuff left over that you need to use a loan or a credit line for. And what's your expected return on investment? What's your ROI? Are you going to get a return on investment on that? Look, there's a lot of money like cash flow financing or merchant cash advances that's very expensive. And yet I see a lot of business owners balk at that expense because they're trying to use it to get down through a seasonal business when the season's low. Well, you don't want to use it for that. You want to use it for something you're going to get a return on. So the very first cash advance we ever got here at Credit Suite, we used to be able to open up a call center, to be able to start a lead generation campaign. And we did like 2 other things with that money. And like 2 of the 4 didn't work and 2 of the 4 did work. And we made the money back to pay even more return than what the money cost us. That's what I'm talking about. We had a client, the highest that I've ever seen. It wasn't actually a client. It was a client that told me that he got money like this from somewhere else. But the guy paid 65% interest, 65. I've never heard of something like that before. And what he did, and rightfully so, he was a newer business. His credit was trashed. Like every risk factor, he was off the charts for high risk. But what he did was buy a tree distumper. It pulls tree stumps out of the ground. And actually what happened was it saved him $10,000 a month, even at 65% interest, because he no longer needed to manually pay for labor to do that. So he got very high interest financing, wrote all the interest off and got it back on taxes anyways. Then he got a piece of equipment and still saved $10,000 a month because, again, he was actually using a piece of equipment to do what manual labor was costing him before. Still saved 10 grand. So does he care that he's paying 65%? Nope. He got a really good return on his investment. He's very happy. He writes all the interest off. He gets all that back. He saved 10 grand a month. For him, it's a win-win. So I see a lot of people obsessed with interest rates, and you shouldn't. Interest is based on risk. If you don't want to be high risk, then fix your personal credit, build your business credit, do all the things that will make you lower risk. But again, the key is that are you going to get the return on your investment? You need to know that before you're going in and applying. Okay. At the exact same time, you need to have a solid plan for what you're investing into and be prepared to show the cost. Sometimes with SBA loan, they want you to see what you're actually going to use the money for. So you need to have some of that available. Some of the times with merchant cash advances, PayPal, Square loans, they don't care about that stuff. But at least having an idea of what you're going to use the money for helps. In a lot of cases, it's things that lenders or credit issuers are going to ask for. And think of it like a sales pitch for financing. Okay. Now, again, a lot of lenders are going to ask for this, but a lot of them do want to genuinely know what you're going to use it for. So if you're using it to be able to scale Facebook, then it's easier to say to them, look, I'm going to in digital advertising. We've been testing it. We've been getting positive return on investment. Now we want to scale our ad spend to be able to get more return. But we've got a 60-day conversion cycle of converting the lead. We need the money to run the ads until we can actually come in and start getting a return on investment. Lenders love that. So you're telling me you've got a marketing campaign, you've tested, proven works, and now you want to scale it to make your business bigger. We want to be part of that. Because when we're part of that and your business gets bigger and you want more money, you're going to come back to us because we help make it happen. So having that plan makes a lot of sense. You also want to get your timing down. When is the right time to actually apply for the financing? Okay, do you have the cash, credit, collateral, whatever is needed to qualify for that loan? You don't need all these. You typically need one. We'll talk about that a little bit later during today's training, but do you have what's even needed to be able to get the loan? And you also want to apply before you need the financing. Look, the worst thing you can do as a business owner is wait to get the money until you're desperate, till you've run out of money, until you're defaulting and now you've got non-sufficient funds because your bank account has no money. It's the last time you want to wait for it. When you're in trouble, lenders do not want to lend to you because they already see that you're in a downward spiral. But on the opposite end of things, when you recognize you need more cash to stay on the path that you're on or actually execute the improved path, then lenders respect that. When you're going in and saying, and I'll give you a simple example. We just secured an SBA loan. I said that months ago that we secured it. And when the lenders asked us what we wanted it for, we said the impending recession. We see the economy shifting and changing, and we want to make sure we're flush with cash to be able to navigate that and to be able to take advantage of that because there's more people that need money during that time. And we want to do more marketing when everybody else is pulling back. Everybody else gets into a cash crunch. They start pulling back from ads. Ads become cheaper, and that gives us an opportunity to do more advertising to grow our business. They love that answer because we're predicting what's going to happen a year down the road, and we're taking action now to have the money set aside so we can actually take advantage of that opportunity. They love that. And what they don't like is, oh my gosh, the recession just happened. Can you believe this? And lenders are like, yeah. Like we saw it coming 2 years ago, didn't you? Like here's all the indicators. Everybody's been talking about it. Well, we just had it happen. We didn't expect it, and it did happen, and it impacted us this way. And now we need money to pay our day-to-day bills. Well, worst conversation you want to have. It shows you're unprepared. You didn't predict what was going to happen, and now you're in a bad situation that you're coming in and trying to get yourself out of. So you've got to try to get financing before you need it, because that shows the type of entrepreneur that lenders really ultimately want to lend to. Okay, and we've got Combs, a real estate investor from Chicago. Thanks for coming in as well. And Angels Don't Fall says, I need a well-drilled and a tractor and a portable office and a truck dedicated to aloe vera farm. Number one commodity. We can help you with that. If you have specific uses or specific need to get money, all you have to do is go to creditsuite.com/consult, schedule a call, or give us a call. Our numbers will be on these slides as well. We can talk to you about how to specifically get money for everything you need. Some of the stuff, Angels Don't Fall, some of the stuff you're able to get specific financing for, like a tractor. There's specific financing just for that purpose. And some of the other stuff, there may be actual, you want to get a credit line or loan or business credit cards for. So we can kind of help map out the exact path for you on being able to get the money you need to accomplish each one of those things that you want to. And Charlotte Bryson's in here. C&B One Enterprise LLC just got approved for MasterCard at Sam's Club. Congratulations. In a lot of cases, and if she's talking about the same card, that MasterCard can be used anywhere. It's not just at Sam's Club. So pretty beneficial. So determining when is the right time. You don't want to procrastinate. Okay, when it comes to getting financing, you want to make the move when you're ready to make the move, and you want to focus on building the strength of your application before you apply. We already talked about that when we talked about fundability. So next, you got to choose the right type of business loan. Which option is best for you? Well, there's countless different types of options that are out there, and the best way around it is to know your strengths. I call this the 3 C's cash acquisition formula, and I do this because it's super simple to know and understand. It's just really basic. It's 3 things that all begin with C: cash flow, credit, and collateral. It's the only 3 things, well, not the only, but the main 3 things that any lender lends on. And if you have all 3 of these, you get an SBA loan. And if you have one of the 3, then you can get money for your business. So a simple example of that is, let's say I have good personal credit. Well, then I'm able to qualify for a program called Credit Line Hybrid. Even as a startup, I can get $150,000 in credit lines to grow my business. Let's say the strength is that I'm building my business credit. Well, business credit opens up here. If we look at Charlotte's Club, if she got this without a personal guarantee and credit check, she got it because her business credit was established. She had that C of credit. Her business credit was established. And then Charlotte's actually coming in here using business credit to be able to fund her business. So she's able to get Visa cards and MasterCards and American Express and credit cards at Staples, Office Depot, Sam's Club, Costco, BP, or HP, Dell, Apple. You get the idea. The bottom line is that by knowing the strength of business credit, you can use that strength to get money. Maybe you don't have business credit. Your personal credit's bad. Well, then in that case, then your strength is maybe cash flow. Maybe you've got 6 months of consistently generating money in the business. And that opens up financing for PayPal, Square, and Stripe, and cash flow financing and merchant cash advances. And even with average credit, it opens up the door for term loans and lines of credit at places like Bluevine and places like many others that are out there as well, including Fundbox. Okay, so again, the strength is cash flow that opens up funding options for you. Or maybe you have some kind of asset that could serve as collateral. Maybe you want to get a vehicle or get a piece of equipment. We talked about this with Angels Don't Fall. So say, I need to get a portable office. I need to get a truck, right? Well, so then in that case, maybe your collateral is the vehicle you're borrowing. Maybe it's commercial real estate you own. Maybe it's a house that you want to flip, and the house itself could be served up as collateral. Maybe it's stocks, bonds, 401ks, or IRAs. Maybe your strength is you have inventory, or you want to get financing to buy inventory to sell online. And any of these can be served as asset to be able to qualify for that third C of collateral. So if you have collateral, or you have credit, or you have cash flow, well, then that's the avenue, the kind of lender program that you want to look at. So let me give you an example. If I have good credit, or if I have bad credit, horrible credit, but $1 million a month in cash flow, I can't qualify for credit line hybrid. Credit line hybrid only works if I have good credit. So this is why you need to know the best kind of loan option, because I could have on the opposite end an 850 credit score, zero revenue, and go for a PayPal loan and get denied. And it's not even based on credit score, right? So I get denied because PayPal looks at your revenue. They don't look at your credit score. So this is why you have to know what your strength is. Is it cash flow? Is it credit? Or is it collateral? And then you got to go to get the right loan or credit option that's based on that strength. If you don't, this is why so many people get denied and frustrated. They're trying to apply for cash flow financing when they have good credit and they don't have any cash flow. They're trying to qualify for, a credit line hybrid where they can get, credit lines that are based on consumer credit quality while the credit's bad and they have lots of revenue. They're misinterpreting the strength they have, and they're misapplying for the wrong kind of financing. And this is what will cause you to miss every time getting approved. So you've got to know what your actual strength is and pick the best funding option based on that actual strength. And again, don't get stuck with lender's favorite program, because their favorite program is what they make the most money on. And you might not meet you might not have the requirements to actually meet that. So cash flow, credit, collateral, what's your strength? And by the way, if you have none of those, that's when you need to build business credit and create that strength of a C of business credit so your business can fund itself. But you need to know which of those strengths you are, create business credit or build business credit to create that last strength for you. Now, once you know this, then you can start taking the steps to actually find the right lender. Does the lender offer what you need? Now I know that I have cash flow as my strength. I need a lender that will lend me money based on cash flow. Does their website, do I call them? Do they tell me that because I have cash flow, I can get approved? Or does all their website say I've got to have an 800 credit score, which I don't have? So now I need to find the right lender that actually fits the kind of funding that I actually want to go through and get. And again, do they have options that can help after your initial loan? So again, if I really want to work with the lender, I want to work with the lender that I can get approved again and again and again. So we bank with Regions. And when we go in and get our first SBA loan with them and our second SBA loan, it's way easier to get more SBA loans. Every time we need them, we go back to the same lender and we tell them we need more money. And that's always the first place we go. So can they help me after my initial funding? It's something to consider as well. Some lenders can help use structured alternative financing to move to better options later. A lot of lenders like NBC, National Business Capital, we send a lot of business to them. They work with a lot of different kind of loan programs. They'll start you here to cash advance and move you up to term loans and SBA loans. So when you work with lenders that work with multiple different funding options, it helps you graduate and progress to different funding as your business becomes more seasoned. And will they listen to what you need and help you find a solution? Or are they just cookie cutter? You got to fit in these standards and they don't help anybody beyond those standards. Look, a lot's changed, but my dad used to be in banking back in the day, and he still tells me stories about old farmers that would come in. I'm from a little farm town in Indiana, and they would, on a handshake, do deals, and these guys always paid them back. It's not like that as much now with all the automation and algorithms we have. But when you have a good relationship with your bank or a good relationship with a credit union, then in a lot of cases, they can actually work with you based on your unique scenario to help you find a solution. This is why I always recommend that you work with a broker of some sort. Look, we work with 1,000 different funding sources and every legitimate kind of funding program. And the benefit of that is that we're able to say, based on your situation, go here on this program and this lender. So work with people that have a lot of options, because that way they can listen to your unique scenario and help you find the right solution for your unique scenario. Unlike a lot of lenders, 99.9% of them, which only deal with one or two kind of funding program. And if you don't meet their criteria, you're just not able to actually come in and get approved. And Charlotte says, what cards are not asking for personal guarantees? Almost all of them. The reality is that you could build your business credit and get the Sam's Club MasterCard that you just said without a guarantee and without a credit check. You could also get a credit card for Sam's Club to use there, or Costco, or Office Depot, or Staples, or HP, or Apple, or Dell, or Pilot Flying J for gas, or Ally for auto financing, or Ford, GM, or Toyota for auto financing as well. I can get credit at Best Buy. I mean, Nordstrom, Macy's. You name a retailer, they're typically offering you some kind of credit without a guarantee and without a personal credit check. And the other thing is that there's a lot of Visa card, MasterCard, auto financing, all of that's available without a guarantee or credit check. You just need to make sure that you're coming in and that you follow the steps of building a fundable foundation and you build business credit. And if you want help with that, we can help with that. As a matter of fact, we've got right here at the bottom, if you go to creditsuite.com/foundation, then you're actually able to come in and access our free fundability mini course. And this will actually help you through the first step of building business credit, improving your fundability. It's 100% free. So right there, take a screenshot of creditsuite.com/foundation. That'll help you accomplish the first step of building your business credit. I'll talk about how to accomplish the next as we progress here, Charlotte. So tips to finding the right lender: find the lender that can take a lot of time and energy if you spend too much time hunting for the wrong one. Okay, but it's going to help you avoid the wrong kind of loan or just getting denied. So some of the best lenders are not easy to find, and we have a lot of training on that with specific lenders and programs. And again, it helps to work with a source like Credit Suite, or even if it's not us, work with somebody that works with a lot of lenders. The more lenders somebody works with, the more they can match your situation and scenario. And let me give you an example of this. Okay, I've got a lot of our clients are in credit repair. We've got lenders that specifically lend to credit repair industries, where cash flow financing, revenue lending is notorious for not working for that industry. We've got plenty of sources that lend to that industry. If you're talking about the marijuana industry, most lenders want nothing to do with the marijuana industry because it's not federally governed yet, right? But we've got plenty of lenders that will lend to that industry. So this is why you want to work with a source that works with a lot of different lenders, because they can actually help the one that will work for your unique scenario, whether you're in a high-risk industry or you've got other factors that would typically hold you back from getting approved. Next, you want to negotiate the rates and terms. You always want to remember that interest rates, length of loan, fees, all of these things are negotiable. And the lower your risk is, the better you are to negotiate. That's why fundability is so important. When you structure your business where you're reputable, when you build your business credit, then you become more appealing to lenders, become more of the type of person they want to have, and it's easier to negotiate. I'll never forget, I got a line of credit with Bank of America once for like $50,000. And I looked at it and I said, oh, I appreciate that, but I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm going to say no to that application. And they said, well, why? I said, because I got another one with like PNC Bank for 100. I don't need your 50. And they said, well, how much do you need? And I said, I'd like another $1,000 credit line of credit. And they immediately approved me. They doubled my approval just because I negotiated with them and asked for more money. So this oftentimes happens. I had an American Express card where I don't remember what the limit was on it. It was like 20 grand, I think. And then I applied. I immediately, after getting approved, asked them for a limit increase. I said, 20 won't work. I said, how much you want? I said, 40. They immediately approved me. They doubled my credit limit just because I asked. I can't tell you how many times I've got substantially higher loan amounts just because I ask. And I also go in every 6 months and I ask them for more money. I continue to ask for limit increases every 6 months, and 9 out of 10 times I get them. The 10th time I don't get them, it's because I won't let them pull my personal credit. So I just walk away from the conversation. But if they're able to do that assessment without looking at my personal credit, I always go through it. And it's how I get more money. So create your leverage for negotiation. Shop first so you have options, right? Offset the risk by building that fundability. The stronger the application, the more flexibility you have. And again, this is very easy. In that case with Bank of America, the reason they doubled my credit line is I told them I had a PNC credit line for double the amount of money. And they wanted to be the one with the higher amount because that's the one you use, right? Think about what is in your wallet, which credit cards are in your wallet. Now, if you're like most of us, then the credit cards in your wallet has the highest limit. And this is why the credit card issuer wants to have the highest limit there, because the highest limit account's the one you typically use the most. And guess what the second credit card in your wallet is? It's the one with the second highest limit. Okay, I literally carry 3 credit cards on me. One is a business card, 2 are personal, and my 2 personal have my highest limits. That's why I carry them. That's pretty typical. So lenders, credit issuers, they want to give you more money because they want to be the one that has the highest approval, so you'll use them more often. So it gives you actually leverage when you come in and you have multiple approvals that you're actually working with. And again, if you don't want to do all of this, then just work with experts in business lending, right? They take the anxiety out of this entire program. So process. So for example, if you're working with Credit Suite, we work with every legitimate type of funding program that's out there with over 1,000 different lenders. You have access to an entire finance team that just helps you through this process. Our team negotiates the rates and terms for you. Our team negotiates the fees for you. The lenders give us discounted rates and fees because we send them so much business. So if you go to one of my banks, there's no way you're going to get the same terms as my client does. No way. Because you're one person applying and I'm sending them 100 plus clients a month. They're going to give me better pricing to keep my business. They don't really care as much about the one person that's applying. They care about the person that's bringing them 100. So again, that's another reason that when you're working with an expert, you can get better pricing than you get on your own. Plus, we create a blueprint to get you up to SBA loans. Maybe you start with credit line hybrid. Maybe you start with cash advances. But here's the things you need to graduate to SBA loans. And the idea there is that we don't think you should ever have to look for funding. We think that you should be able to work with experts that have all this access and have figured these things out so you don't have to, again, on your own. And that really helps make your next business loan anxiety kind of go away. So if you want to learn more about that, 2 links right here, creditsuite.com/consult. Talk to our team. Some of you have had very unique situations on funding of what you're looking for. If you go there, then we can automatically talk to you about what kind of funding you can get. We'll help you improve your fundability. We'll give you tips and tactics to build your business credit. Charlotte asked about business credit building. It's free to work with us or to figure this out on a free assessment. On a free assessment, we'll talk to you about building business credit and how you can actually get started down that path. And we also do a finance qualification to tell you all the funding you can get now. And then grab your fundability course or your free foundation fundability course at creditsuite.com/foundation. It's a 3-part video mini course. It's 100% free for you. And it in-depth maps out everything you need to do to improve the first thing we talked about today of improving your fundability. And since I can't help myself from giving stuff away for free, I also have about $400 worth of tools in what we call our free business credit toolbox. All you do is go to creditsuite.com/toolbox. And that'll give you instructions. If you just share our next live stream to help more entrepreneurs, then you're able to get that near $400 worth of resources. And again, you can also give us a call for a free finance assessment as well, 877-600-2487. And if you got value from the training, make sure you like and subscribe at the top of our the social pages. You can access all those at the top right of our website, creditsuite.com. And Savannah G Trucking and Michael Stills is in the house. And Savvy Tolson says, should we put an LLC under a trust? Look, that's a great question for an accountant or an attorney, but there's nothing I've ever found that's going to hurt you when you do that. Okay, so I personally, if you're asking me a personal question, I get most of my entities, every asset I owned is under a separate entity, and a lot of those actually involve trust for extra layers of protection. So I don't think it's a bad idea. It depends on what you're trying to protect, what you're trying to avoid. And those are great questions for accountants and attorneys, especially trust and estates attorneys. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't think you're going to lose anything by that, but I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. This isn't legal. This is an accounting advice. From a personal preference, it's something that I do a lot of. But when I do it under trust and estates attorney. I have a trust and estates attorney I trust, and I go to have those questions actually answered. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Now you know how to get an anxiety-free application done for business financing. You know the path, you know the steps, you know the pre-work you want to do before you apply. And again, if you want help, if you're nervous on going through this on your own, just give us a call. If we get you any financing, we never charge you a dime to do so. It's like having us and our team as a free resource to help you get financing. We do have a great paid product if you want to improve your fundability and build business credit. But with that, you've got coaching that takes you through process that takes years and helps expedite it where you get it in only months. And it also helps you get the most money at the best terms. So either way, give us a call. Make sure you grab your free finance assessment. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll look forward to talking to you next time where we talk about more cool ways to get